I don't know why it's always happened to me because I have something in my mind that I want to
Yeah,
say, like very straightforward. I want to say this.
yeah,
Then when I say it, when it's it came out, it's just like, ooh, it's like crazy.
yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like,
Ooh, it's like crazy.
hi Nicole, how are you doing?
Hi, good. It's been a while. Haven't seen you in wow, how long has it been?
Yeah, it's like forever. It's been a long, long time. It's great to see you again.
It's nice to see you too. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm good. By the way, for my friends out there, this is Nicole. She's my friend from US. She's from Utah, right?
Yep, from Utah.
And she's been living in Netherlands for 4 years. Is that correct?
Yep, for 4 years.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we're going on 5 years.
You're already resident of
I am a
Netherlands, or?
resident, and I'm working towards getting my passport, so I'll hopefully have dual citizenship soon.
Whoa!
Maybe one more year. In one
Congratulations!
more year, hopefully I have two passports. But we'll see.
Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you.
So
Going
you
to it.
are good in Dutch right now.
I'm okay, but I will say it's very difficult to speak Dutch in the Netherlands because
Uh-huh.
everyone speaks English so well. So the
Oh,
moment they hear you
okay.
start speaking Dutch and they realize you're not native Dutch speaker, then
Native,
they'll
yeah.
speak English and they'll speak English. I'm like, no, stop! I'm learning Dutch. Speak Dutch to me. It's so hard because they're all so
Yeah,
good
yeah.
with English. And so then I get lazy and I just speak English.
So you are in Netherlands. Which part of Netherlands?
I am in the Utrecht province in a town called
Utrecht.
Amersfoort.
Ah,
So it's about, if you
okay.
took a train from Amsterdam, it would take you about 45 minutes. So it's a beautiful town. It's called Amersfoort, and it has a lot of historical. It's been around for a very long time. I think they said it's around 700 years old, and it still has the old wall around the city and the koppelpoorts, the gates with the rivers running around it. So it's really beautiful.
What is the season there right now?
So right
What is
now,
the
we're still in winter, but it's actually
winter?
warming up quite nicely. We're starting into spring. I think we're
Spring,
on our way into
yeah.
spring. Yeah.
How is in US or your hometown right now?
So in the US, so I grew up in Utah, which is not a state you hear of very often. It's kind of further out towards the west part of the US, Midwestern. It's known for really big mountains, big winter sports areas. So there's a lot of skiing, a lot of snowboarding, a lot of snow. Right now, I think they still have, I would say, this much snow on the ground. It's still very cold
Wow.
there. I don't miss it
Oh.
because I don't like the
I just
cold
want
very
to
much.
ask about that.
I'm terrible at skiing. I've been skiing twice in my life and I thought I was going to die the whole time. So I don't mind that I'm not there right now, but I do miss the
Okay.
mountains. The mountains
All
are
right.
absolutely beautiful in Utah, and that I think is one of the things
Yeah.
I miss the most.
Nicole, could you please share a little bit about your background, where you come from, and what is your educational background?
Sure. So I think I mentioned I grew up in Utah. I grew up in a very rural area, so in the middle of farmland. I grew up on a sheep ranch. So
Mhm.
my grandparents owned several hundred sheep, and we lived on the ranch. So from a very young age, that was all my focus was always animals. I loved animals. I loved sheep. I loved cows, pigs, horses. definitely the horses. I was all about riding my horse and being out on the sheep ranch, you know, herding sheep, raising any animal I could find, really. So that led me to study animal science. I went to school first in Utah for a couple years, and then I went to university in a state of Missouri. I got my bachelor's degree in animal science with focuses on horses, or with a focus on equine science, we call it. So it was all about horses, about training horses, about the biology, anatomy, taking care of them, all of that. And my big goal at that time was to become a horse trainer, which didn't happen. I started working for a big equestrian center in Florida. They specialized in equitation and hunter jumpers, so really expensive show horses. And about 6 months later, I realized that was not the place for me. I loved the horses. The industry, though, was not for me. The people you worked with, it was just like, it wasn't right. I didn't feel good about it.
Oh.
So that then led me to, okay, what can I do with animals, but also in a helping way? Because like I wanted it to have a little more meaning than just going to horse shows and this and this and that.
Right.
So I looked into the U.S. Peace Corps, and Peace Corps is kind of a volunteer program through the U.S. government, and they send you to various countries around the world to work in different sectors or different focuses. And because I had an animal science background, they got me a position in West Africa, working in Niger, in animal husbandry and animal science. So I got to work with farmers there and different organizations about animal husbandry, better practices of, managing their livestock. And so then I worked there for almost 3 years, and then again in Ethiopia for another 2 years doing, volunteer work with animal science, animal husbandry.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's amazing.
It's all about the experience for me. I love experiencing different things and trying new things. Just on a whim, I decided, you know what, I need a break. I want something different in my life. And I saw an advertisement for the cruise ship. And I was like, I'm gonna work on a cruise ship. So then in complete randomness, and I have to explain this every time I have a job interview, they're like, how did you get from that to this? Because now I work, of course, in like event management and training management. But yeah, that's always their question is, how did you get from animals to event management? So I have to tell them, well, I just wanted a break and thought a summer job on a cruise ship would be fun, and I never left.
About your journey or your experience in Africa, you said in Niger, right?
Or Niger, if you say it with an English accent. Nigeria is down below, and then Niger is right up above it.
Oh, it's two different countries.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that. I thought
Actually,
you
most people
Niger
don't. Even the whole time I was there, my family was like, oh, so you're in Nigeria. I'm like, no.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I thought.
They're two separate countries. So Niger is a French, they're French speaking, but they also speak Hausa, the language there. And then Nigeria is actually on that coast.
New knowledge.
Nigeria is English speaking. Niger is French.
It's French. Okay. So could you please tell me more about your experience there?
To be honest, I think about Niger all the time. Like I would say almost every day I remember something about my experience there. Just it was the first time, and I think I was only maybe 23 at the time that I went there. It was the first time, that I was living on my own, and that I was out of the country, really experiencing another culture for the first time. So I think it influenced me a lot, and it changed a lot about me. So it's a volunteer program where you are assigned a community that you live in, and you live within the community by yourself, and you work with different organizations within that community to come up with projects to better the community. So I first lived in a very small town. I can't really explain where it was, just in the middle of the Sahel region of Africa. But there was no running water, no electricity in the entire village. It was, I think, a 3-hour walk through the sand dunes to get to the main road. So it was, it was a complete culture shock. You come from the US where you take all of these things for granted, and then suddenly no electricity, no running water. I lived in a little mud house with like a little shade hanger made of millet stalk. And, it's amazing though, because you learn so much to appreciate what you have and to notice the little things. And you let everything else go. Like all the big things no longer matter. Suddenly, all you're worried about is drinking water or, little things. So it was a huge learning experience for me to, live in that kind of environment. And like, it changed me for the better because I will always value those small things forever now. So I was there for a year, and then they changed posts and they put me in the capital city, which is Niamey. And they have a national museum there that's also a zoo. So they have lots of baboons and lions and hyenas. And so I got to volunteer there for a year, and it was amazing because I got to feed all these animals, do a food donation program to feed all these animals with the hotels nearby, and really try and make a difference there. And it was nice because you got to try and make a difference for the animals in the zoo. So it was so worthwhile, and try and make the conditions better there for them. Unfortunately though, due to security reasons, they had a few kidnappings of some, I think, French people in the area, French diplomats. Or I can't remember, but it was to the point where the US government felt it was too big of a risk for us to stay there. So they immediately evacuated us and pulled us out of the country.
That's too bad.
So it was a very sad ending, and unfortunately, like, conditions have just worsened. So I haven't gotten to go back since.
Maybe people from Niger that watching this video, what do you want to say?
Just that, I'm thinking about them all the time. They changed my life absolutely for the better, and I'm a completely different person because I knew them and I met them, and they're the most amazing people I've ever met. I would give anything. I would give anything in the world to go back and just spend a week with them right now.
Some of my friends here in Indonesia, they don't have confidence to speak English because they're like afraid to make mistake and afraid to be laughed at,
I completely know how they feel.
maybe, Yeah. So
the same for me in Dutch.
What do you want to say to them so that they can be like a little bit more brave to speak in English?
Just that I completely understand how they feel, but nobody's going to make fun of them for trying. Like, it's so much better to just say what you know, even if it's wrong. And sooner or later, you're going to get corrected, and it's going to be okay, and you're going to say it right next time. But just having the courage to just speak. The most important thing is just give it a try. Don't be afraid to make a mistake.
So don't be afraid, right? Don't
be afraid. Even if you're going to make a mistake, say it anyway. That's the best way to learn.
Yes. But then as a native speaker yourself, I want to know what is inside your mind at the time when you speak with someone that speaks little English.
So as a native English speaker, if I'm trying to speak to someone that I can tell, they may not have enough English to get their ideas across, I want to help them. So maybe if I say something and I notice they don't understand, I'm going to try and say it a different way, use a different set of vocabulary. Maybe I use a different word that means the same thing, because when I've learned other languages, sometimes I learn one word for something, but somebody else learns a completely different word for the exact same thing. So then I have to realize, okay, maybe you know what this is, but not by this word. So let me think, how else can I say it? And so then usually we can get our way around something, or I can describe something, use descriptions. The really tall person over there, use hand motion. Somehow we're going to make it work. I guarantee there's a way
I remember. I remember how you say with all your hands, like when we work together. I remember when you talk to like some guy that don't understand English very well, you just talk to them like very, very slowly, but you're very patient to talk to them. and then
Yeah.
like you use your hands, and then you keep trying your best until they understand,
Yeah.
even though sometimes
And
at the end they don't
especially-
still understand.
We try. But especially
Yeah.
on the cruise ship, you work with so many different people of so many different languages that, yeah, you have to
Exactly.
learn to be patient,
Yes.
try in a different way to explain it. Sometimes it's nice to have it written. So I'll even
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
clipboard, something written down, because maybe the way I'm saying it, has a different accent. And, even in Dutch, I'll hear somebody say something and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. But then they write it down and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I know that word. You just say it different.
Okay.
It's sometimes
Yeah, it's just the accent.
it's the accent, it's how you say something. So that's also something I'll try and pronounce it more clearly. Especially with Americans, we tend to have a different accent than somebody from the UK or somebody from Australia or New Zealand. We all speak English, but sometimes I can't understand what somebody from Scotland is saying because they have such a strong accent. So that's a big part of it too. Just speaking clearly, slowly, and using any other means you can. Yeah, I think I was, oh my gosh, how old was I? I'm gonna say maybe 5 or 6.
You're so cute.
I know, what happened? I don't know. I was so cute. Like, my hair was so blonde, so like almost white. It was so light. And I was the first girl in my family. So there's 6 kids in my family. We have 3 boys and 3 girls. I was the first girl in the family. So my mom, I think she just like thought I was her little, toy doll, because I had curlers in my hair all the time. I was always in a little dress. And so my hair is always curly. In every picture you will ever find of me under the age of 5, curly hair, always in a dress. Yeah.
What do you remember about your childhood?
I remember, there were 6 kids and we lived on a ranch. So, the world was our playground. We played outside all the time. We were constantly running around and hiking up the mountainside. And I remember being really close with my sisters and brothers. Like, we were all very close. My parents wouldn't let us have a TV. They thought that was bad for us. We had a TV, but there was no channels. Like, you couldn't turn on the TV and just watch TV.
Wow.
We were only allowed just a little bit of computer time. It was, we weren't allowed to sit all day on the computer. So instead, we loved being outside. We were constantly outside. We lived so far away from everyone else. There weren't any other really children in our area. We grew up, of course, on the ranch and in a very rural area. So the nearest town was about a 10-minute car ride away or a 15-minute car ride away. So, you don't go and hang out with your friends very often. You stayed on the ranch and, we played together as kids. I would say, we were really close family. And
Great.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So that was in Niger. Remember how I mentioned I worked at a zoo there?
Yeah.
This is at the zoo in Niger. I believe these are the monkey cages. So we had several monkeys living in all of these cages, and I was cleaning out the cages. Just that was a daily chore, was cleaning it out, making sure sanitation needed to be kept up like that daily. And so sometimes I would help out the zookeepers because they just had way too much to do. And so I would clean out the cages, hose it all down, and fill up fresh water for all the monkeys. So yeah.
That's really impressive that you, girl, you're willing to do all of this cleaning and all this dirty stuff.
I was never scared of getting dirty. I didn't mind getting dirty.
Good.
My dad worked in construction growing up. My dad was a contractor, so he would build houses and buildings and things like that. And so during the summers, I would work for him. I would be up on the roof doing roofing, I would do tiling. I learned so much because I was one of those people. I would do any job. I love it. I love learning new skills like that. So yeah, little cleaning out the monkey cages, no problem.
No problem. And I
and
see
it's
that you
for the animals,
feeding the animals, feeding the monkeys and the birds and the horse, of course, and the lion. I saw lion. And tiger. Yeah. So how was that?
It was amazing. Especially, so this is, this zoo is not maybe the safest zoo because you can get right up next to the cages and the animals can actually, reach out almost. So it's not the safest. You can see I'm in this photo, I'm in between the barrier for where the guests are and where the actual animals are. So they could reach out and like grab you if they needed to.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that's not safe. Nobody should do that. However, it's a job that does need done. And these animals do get to know you, so they recognize who you are and that you're a friend and you're the one that brings them food and cleans out their cage. So it's okay, but it was so fun to get so close to these animals. It's an amazing experience to be able to pet a hyena or scratch a lion on the head. Like, who could say they've done that? It was so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's so cool.
But not safe.
Yeah.
Not safe. Had to be careful. And the chimpanzees also, I would hand them things. They would reach out through the bars and I would hand them like an apple or a banana, some piece of fruit.
Yeah.
Also not safe. One should be very, very careful with that. But it was such a cool experience. Such an amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
so,
you were trying to make a difference for those animals. So that's, I would spend hours and hours there if I could.
You study about animal science. That's, I guess, it's a benefit for you, right?
Mm-hmm. It did lead me, especially here to Niger and to these types of jobs. But I think in a general sense, it helps you better understand even now just how to take care of animals. You see many people own cats and dogs and they own these animals, but maybe they don't fully understand what the animal needs or how to take care of it properly. So in that sense, I think I use it every day in helping people understand maybe better how to take care of the animals they have. The career I have right now, of course, doesn't really involve animals, which is very sad, but in my spare time, I still go to the equestrian stables here, the horseback riding stables, and I still ride horses on the weekends or once a week or so I get to go riding. And it's that connection with animals, because animals, you can really connect with them, and that's what I love about it.
That's very cool. So if there's anything, like one thing that you want everybody to know about animal, what is that?
They need to know that it's a full-time commitment. It's a full-time job. You can't just decide, I'm going to go on a 3-week vacation and leave. This animal needs you. Once it's yours, it needs you, and it needs you to be fully committed. Just like a child in the house, you can't leave it. You can't forget to feed it. Like it now depends on you for its life. So that's something to keep in mind. If you can't fully be committed, then think twice before getting a pet. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Do you have any pet?
No, because exactly like I said, if I'm not here enough to take care of him, then I shouldn't get one. So at the moment I don't, but if we get a different house with a bigger yard or a bigger garden, then I want to have chickens and I want to get a goat.
Chickens?
And they're so cute.
My father have chickens.
I love chickens.
My father have like a lot of chickens behind my house here.
And they're useful. You get eggs, so it's great.
Yes. And then you can wake up with a rooster every morning.
Yeah, that I don't like. I've done that in Ethiopia. Oh, it was the worst experience. 3 a.m. every morning, that thing would go off.
Yes.
Oh, miserable.
Yeah.
So no roosters, only the chickens.
What is that?
Also in Niger, this was... So we got together with a few of the other volunteers in the area. You can see behind us like those millet stalk mats. Those were our beds. Yes. That's what we were going to sleep on. That's what we slept on. Yeah.
Wow.
So you'd pull out your mattress every night and you'd set up your mosquito net and you'd sleep on there. This is, we'd get together maybe once a month, maybe once every couple months. And we would just have fun. And one of the things that especially West Africa and these places are known for is dance. Like There's some fantastic West African and African dances. And of course, we were all really bad at them and terrible, but we loved to dance. Like, it was so much fun, and that's what communities did. And so this is actually just us volunteers from the US that we all got together on one night, and we built a fire and had some fun, and we were just dancing. This is not African dance.
It looks so fun.
Just
It looks so fun.
us going wild. This is
your muscle.
This is a happy place for me. I love it. We were in Norway camping, and we were camping on the side of this beautiful lake, and we brought this inflatable kayak, and that's just one of our afternoons. We were kayaking around the lake in the sun in Norway. It was so peaceful there. So we took our car from the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
We drove up through Denmark. We took the ferry with our car. Mm-hmm. Across and into Norway, and we don't plan this. We just decide to drive until we find a great camping spot, and then we camp. Because Norway has a I can't remember how they call it, but it's like a wild camping law where you are allowed to camp anywhere as long as you are not within 100 meters, I think, of someone's house. So. And you can only stay a couple nights in these places. So that's the law there. Okay. And so you can drive into these beautiful kind of foresty areas, in these beautiful mountains and fjords areas, and you can camp there. And it's amazing. I think we were nearby Stavanger Fjord.
Let's go to the next picture, and it's the last picture. Surprise!
Hey, that's also Norway.
Norway, okay.
That is my boyfriend, Roland. He and I worked together on the cruise line. He is a navigation officer, so he works on the bridge and he drives the ship, and he, navigates all the charts and creates the routes and everything for the ship to travel. So we met on board. Yeah, that was 5 years ago, and we're still together. And we're on a trip to Norway again because we love Norway. Norway's beautiful.
I love Norway too.
On the Lofoten Islands.
So amazing. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. The fjords there are
like
just amazing.
The most beautiful part in Europe.
I completely agree with you. Yeah. I 100% agree.
The natural beauty is just insane, amazing.
The fjords and the mountains and everything there is just absolutely gorgeous. This is fun. It's kind of fun to look back and talk about things, and it's really fun. Yeah.
Good. Last question. What is your message to our friends or family out there who are still struggling with their lives due to this pandemic?
Ooh, that's a good question. I know it's been hard on everyone. Everyone's had to sacrifice so much, maybe the things they used to love to do, or travel, or hanging out with friends, or going places. We've all had to sacrifice so much, but it's always in the case to keep people safe. So it's important, and I think it's been at least a nice time for me to step back and enjoy the things I have right here in my home. Sometimes I'm so eager to travel or see something else that I forget to remember what I have and how amazing it is just to enjoy your own home and your own family and the people you live with right there with you. Count yourself lucky for what you do have, because whatever you're going through, there's always someone out there who's going through something worse or harder. Everyone's facing challenges. So it's just be kind and be grateful for what you do have.
All right. So that's a great message. Thanks, Nichole.
Of course. Thanks for having me on your show. This has been fun.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I need to say thank you so much for your time, because you are willing to spare your time from your busy week.
No problem. Like I said, it's fun, and it was fun to talk about some good memories and some experiences in my past. So this has been fun. I appreciate you having me.
I really hope that we can meet again someday.
Someday, when I travel to Indonesia.
Yes. Right now, I want to say, please stay safe, take care, and see you next time.
Thank you. You too. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.